Joe, do you think that you guys have enough leadership or good enough leadership structure on this team to kind of pull you guys through some of the outside noise and the drama that goes on around this team?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, especially starting at the top with Freddie, message from day one in the spring since we all got here as a team was focus. The only people who matter are the people in the locker room. Outside noise, good or bad, different or indifferent. It's just that. It's not going to affect us in the locker room as long as we, trust each other, hold each other accountable, and do what we need to do on the field.
So you've got 7 losses, 7 games that didn't go your way. Can you say there was any incident that happened outside the room that affected
No, I
one of
mean,
those games?
no. When you get on the football field, you play football to win games. It doesn't matter. I'm not. Nobody's thinking in the middle of a game or before a game about anything that's set out outside of it. So I don't think any of that has any bearing on it.
Have you gotten to know Odell pretty well this season? It seems like he tries to get to know players from every single different position.
Yeah, decently. I sit close to him, team meetings, see him around the building, talk here and there.
And what vibe have you gotten from him about his, just desire to be here and just kind of his demeanor?
Yeah, I mean, good. He's always seems happy. I mean, just gifted the whole team shoes today, so it was pretty nice of him. And so for everything I see of him, all my interactions have all been positive.
What kind of shoes?
His Air Max 720 OBJ or something. I got him. My box is right there, sitting there.
Joe, it's not just Garrett out the last 3 games, but Vernon hasn't played 2 out of the 3.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of guys got cut. There have been a lot of changes on the defensive line. You're right behind that.
Yep.
I guess line got out. What's that like in this last couple of games of big flux?
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole season on defense has been a challenge of adversity with missing people in all levels of the defense. And I think it's just a testament to the guys. Obviously, you want to play better overall on defense yesterday, but we were able to hold them out of the end zone when it mattered. I think they went 1 for 5 in the red zone, get some big stops. And there's a lot of guys in the front, especially you alluding to OV and Miles missing. There's a lot of guys who have stepped up and made some big plays and some big-time moments. And I think it's been a good job. The team's done a good job of overcoming that kind of adversity.
I'm guessing it's hard to mount a pass rush when you're dealing with new guys and maybe, I don't know whether the term would be playing more vanilla or whatever, just to keep guys lined up properly. But is it hard to mount a pass rush when you have that much change up front?
I mean, I think we've called pretty much the same stuff. Obviously, you're going to miss Myles Garrett. You're going to miss Olivier Vernon. They're guys who are generational talents in the NFL, let alone on a single team. So you're going to miss guys like that. But I think guys like Chad, B. Cox, Gustin, they've all stepped up. And, I mean, you can see they've been getting sacks these last couple of weeks, and we haven't really changed game plan too much in terms of that.
I know you called Miles a generational player a bunch, but it looks like quarterbacks, since he's been out, have had more time against you guys. Did you know that not having him would have the sizable impact it seems to have had?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to miss Miles. I mean, Miles makes plays that nobody else in the NFL, barring maybe a couple guys you can count on 2 or 3 fingers, could make. So you're gonna miss that. It's just stepping up and having the next guys who come in do whatever they do to the best, whatever they do best, and using that as an advantage. I think we've been able to do that.
You mentioned Cox. What has he shown you in the limited time he's been?
Yeah, shows you he's a pro. He's been here for a very short time. He's been productive in games when he's been in there, and he's been reliable for us in doing what he's supposed to do.
You guys are 4-1. The streak is 4-1. Does it feel like you're on a hot streak, or has so much been going on that you can't quite feel the vibe of a hot streak?
No, I mean, when you're winning in the NFL, you always know. Because I mean, I was here through a lot of rough times, and definitely didn't feel like we were going 1-0 during those days. So when you get the 1-0 mantra, since we started that, you said we've been 4-1. And definitely, wins don't come easy in the NFL, no matter who you're playing against, and you relish every single opportunity you get.
You talk about blocking the noise out. Is it hard to do that when you are a relevant team? I mean, if there's no noise when you're 0-14, like who cares?
Yeah, I mean, speaking for myself, it doesn't change one bit for me. I don't care too much about what happens outside the building or in the media waves or reading press clippings, good or bad. Just I try to go about my day, do the same things I'm always going to do. It doesn't affect me when I go home and sit down, stuff like that. So speaking for myself, no, and the vibe I feel from the locker room, a lot of guys have bought into what's been told from the top, what the leader's been saying, and just keeping everything in the locker room is the stuff that matters.
But just to follow up on that, I mean, doesn't your wife say, Joe, look what they're saying about you guys?
She sometimes, but then I'm like, you don't need to go on Twitter, so that's why I'll say right back. Or if she thinks she says something clever or funny, I'll laugh about it and joke about it, and especially because she is very funny and clever, so I let her do her thing. She can speak for me. She's very good at it. But yeah, I try to stay out of those battles on the interweb.
In terms of the shoe, is that how OBJ is? Has he done other things like that before? You know, for
Yeah, I mean, earlier this year, we also got other shoes earlier in the season. I mean, that's just who he is. You can tell he cares about the guys in the locker room. He's talking to everybody in training camp. There's guys that you don't know if they're going to make the team that he's rolling around. You think they're best friends, you know. That's just the kind of guy he is, his personality, and happy to have him around.
Do you wear those other ones, or are those going on the shelf?
No, I wear them, yeah. Definitely. The other ones are tan, so I go with a lot of outfits.
so pretty much what your experience has been, and like you've never sensed any vibe that he doesn't want to be there. Apparently.
No, I mean, Odell, I think you know who he is. He wants to be one of the best of all time at playing the game. He's a competitive guy, so if he's not making a ton of plays all the time, he's going to be competitive about it. He's going to be who he is. But overall, grand scheme of things, I've just nothing but positive things.
I don't know if you knew he was dealing with an injury, but are you almost amazed that he's got like 844 yards and he's not healthy?
Yeah, I mean, if I had a sports hernia, I mean, I've never had one, so. But I've talked to people who've had, and I mean, one of my friends who was a linebacker at Wisconsin played through it for a couple of weeks, but then eventually it was when he was walking through the building just in the middle of the week, walking over like an 80-year-old man, a grandpa out there. So just the fact that you can get out on the field and play with an injury like that, and obviously I don't know severity, I don't know any of that stuff, it is a testament to how hard and how competitive, like I said earlier, that he really is.
Since that, he had a bunch of yards and they had some chunk plays. Was that an Andy Dalton thing, or what? Or you guys are dealing with injury replacements, or what was it?
I think it was good schematics on both their side of the ball against some specific calls we had in certain situations, and then there's some run fits. We watched film today, some run fit issues to clean up. But other than that, I mean, obviously they had a lot of yards. We don't want to give them those yards, but when they got towards the end zone, we were able to bow up and keep them out of there.
Were you confident at the halftime of the Wisconsin game? What do you think happened?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always confident in the guys. In the second half, Ohio State's been playing good all year. Before the game, if you would have given me a 21-7 at halftime, I would have been ecstatic. I was ecstatic at halftime. So, but I wasn't going to be one of the guys who's going to tweet something, talking anything on the internet at halftime, because I've seen Ohio State come back from a lot of things like that. And obviously, they're a great team going to the playoffs to represent the Big Ten. So, I mean, as after you get over those games, you always want the best for the Big Ten. So hopefully they can bring it home.
Were you surprised, or were you concerned that it could turn?
Was a surprise that it could turn? No.
Surprised that it did turn the way it did.
I was a little surprised, obviously, because they had the mishap with like the punt and stuff. You knew the first drive they came out in the second half, they were gonna give it their best stuff. I mean, they got a good coach, good coordinator, so you know something was gonna happen. I just said, like before the game, I said if Wisconsin tackles the whole game, they're gonna be in a good position to win the game. I think the first half they played lights out on defense, was tackling all over the field, and then the second half, as time wore on, I think Ohio State's got all those athletes. You saw a couple missed tackles here and there that extended with athletes like they have, extended plays, and obviously they caused some of those missed tackles. But that tires the defense out when you're out there like that. And we weren't able to get as much offensive production. So it's just kind of a whirlwind things, but I mean, you know, Ohio State, a team like that, is going to be able to do something. So hopefully they represent the Big Ten well in playoffs.
Going back to Odell's injury, I asked JC this one, I asked you. Baker criticized the medical staff over the handling of that injury. What's your experience with the staff, and do you think that creates any mistrust, or do you think it was just
No, I mean,
one time?
I've only had very positive interactions with our medical staff. They've done everything the right way, and towards me, in my opinion. I know Baker speaking. Anybody who knows Baker knows he's an emotional. He's a fire guy. He's a competitor. Yes, sir. He in his heart, he wants whatever's the best for our team. I mean, if he speaks something. If he speaks something after a game, especially a competitive game, battle for Ohio, like obviously he's a young guy. things are said out of context, or he might have went down a trail that he didn't actually mean. But I know where Baker's heart is. I know the training staff. I know things like that aren't going to be a real problem for us.
I just want to ask you this because Pro Bowl voting is going on. You made it last year. You didn't. But
Yep.
you might have even had a better season last year.
Yep.
You missed a few games. So kind of how do you view that whole process now? Are you thinking about it
Yeah,
again?
I mean, going to the Pro Bowl is great. I always had as as a paid vacation. I had a lot of fun down there with the family. Always want to go back at any opportunity I can. So, I mean, obviously the voting's going on. It's a social vote, fans vote. I try to push for me and other guys in the defense are on the Browns to get there because it was a great experience. I'd want anybody who deserves to be there to be able to experience it. So I guess got to see what happens. Can't get too caught up on it though.
In terms of energy and stamina and health and the ability to play consistently, are you having your best season? Have you been consistent? I mean, you caught
Yeah.
everybody's eye early. Have you been consistent across the last month or so?
Yeah, I feel I've played pretty similar the whole season long. My grade sheets I get from my coaching staff's been pretty consistent. Obviously, there's things every week that go either you play really well or you don't play as good, and people are going to have on games and off games. But I think over the course of the season, body's held up great. Mentally prepared the same way every week and been playing at a similar level.
Any development on the contract talks?
No, from my understanding, I mean, I let my agent handle all this kind of stuff, but my understanding we haven't got any offers, so can't really build on it from there.
Was the Shaq Thompson contract affected in the process at all?
Well, like I said, I talked to my agent after that, or he texted me after that contract came out. But obviously, playing as a linebacker in the NFL, you like to see stuff like that, especially when you're in that similar situation. But I mean, it's a different scenario, different teams.
Do you guys consider that a fair comp?
I haven't talked about it that much with him. I'm sure after the season we'll sit down and have some more detailed conversations about things that have going on in that scenario.